Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another pointless City Skyline experimental video where today I answer the question that nobody has ever, and I can guarantee you this, has ever asked. Can water pumps stop a water invasion? I make it sound like kind of like spacey aliens. It's not alien invasion, it's a water invasion. You're probably thinking, Seniac, what are you even talking about right now? This makes no sense. Well, welcome back to another Seniac City Skyline video. None of my videos make sense. But guys, welcome back anyway. If you do enjoy these experimental videos, then please make sure you smash that like button down below. If you are new in here, then make sure you do subscribe so you're notified when more videos like this come out in the future. Now, I've got to do a lot of explaining to kind of win you guys round on this one, but it's kind of going to be a little bit weird. Now, for those peeps who have been playing games for quite some time, you might remember back in the day, and I'm talking back in the day, there was a game called Creeper World. Now, if you don't know what it is, I highly recommend looking it up, and it's basically you kind of like on a kind of a planet, and then you landed on it. And then it looked like water that was slowly creeping towards you. And you had to place down like blasters and missile shooters to kind of evade off the water before you build up your power to kind of escape. I'm kind of taking some inspiration from that. And we're going to implement it into this city. So, to tell you exactly what is going down, we have a beautiful little city right now. I've just built it. It's getting up to grips. It's got everything it pretty much needs to rock and roll. Well, at least I think it does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a big tiered system going around it. And each tier system is going to go up rather than down. So it'll kind of go gradually up. And at the very top, we're going to drop a couple of water sources down. Now, the water source is eventually going to drop down by tier by tier by tier. But we're going to use some flood walls to kind of like filter it in certain ways, in certain directions. And it's eventually going to fill up this big thing that we create. And the town, the little city that we created, is then going to get flooded. But I want to see if water pumps can save them from drowning and basically turning into a fishbowl. Can they flush the toilet? Well, not flush. Can they drink enough water to not make themselves drown? I don't know, guys. It's going to be kind of interesting. So to get this experiment rocking and rolling and started, this is how we're pretty much going to do it. I'm going to come out by 10. On each little section here, and then kind of go round. So I come out by 10. Oh, I'm already messed it up. Already completely messed it up right now. So 10 to there, and we'll go out by 10. So I'm going to go out by quite a few 10s, because I'm going to treat these as being my tiers, and it just enables me to kind of build them a little bit easier. So if I come out by 10 here, to there, and then pretty much what we do then is delete that, because we're creating a ring around the whole place, which is pretty much what we need to get done. I'm going to kind of end it to here, because here we have to work a little bit of magic for the road to still kind of work, but we'll get there. So if I delete all these, and then we're going to do a bunch of rings around, so then I can terraform each section within it to the right height. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. So from here, straight across, and then up. From here, straight across, then up. From here, straight across, and up. And then here, straight across, and up. So we'll start with this design first. We'll work with this. And then we might go higher. This might be the perfect height for us to kind of replicate my experiment in my head. I sometimes kind of, when I've got like an idea, I have to kind of make sure it kind of semi-works before I do like a full experiment. Otherwise, I could be recording for an hour and then the point was it doesn't work. Or sometimes the interesting is that complex. I have to figure out how I need to kind of do it in order to make a video on it. This one didn't do it. And why is this completely off-centered? Something's happened here. Or is it me? No. Something has definitely happened to make this. That's fine. To make this one. Oh, that's completely off here. That's what it is. I messed up from the beginning straight away.
Right, okay. It's all good though, guys. It's all good. There we go. Crisis averted. I was going to say that for a second, like, yo, Seniac, what are you doing right now? What are you doing? So we'll go with this to begin with. And we'll eventually delete the roads after. It's just there to kind of give us the ability to create what we need to create. So if I just clip into this road for now. Right. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. And I can see that road becoming a tunnel of some sorts. But there we go. So the first ring around the edge, we're going to leave it as it is. The next ring around the edge here, I've up the brush size slightly. So you can see that the current terrain is at 60. I'm going to bring it down to 0. So this is the lowest point that it will ever be around the edge. And this is basically the only defense, natural defense we have against the water, is the fact that when it all drips down these tiers, it goes down below, it goes lower than the actual city itself. So once this fills up, then we're going to be overflowing into that area, into that space. That's what's going to be interesting about this section. So this is our only natural line of defense before we drop down a bunch of water pumps that need to pump up all the water to hopefully not destroy us. It's like I said, it's going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. So this layer is pretty much done. Right. This layer is pretty much done. We'll kind of sort this one back out. So that is our lowest section. So from then here, we're going to go, it's meant to be a 60, but we'll then go up in increments of 20. So then this layer here, I'm going to want to be 80. Right, you see where this is going? Then we're going to do 100. That's 1,000. Up to this height. You kind of get this right now. We're going down staggered tiers, and each one's going to have that little gap, like here, to kind of like be the little buffer zone before it then spills over to the next area. So it kind of gives a little bit of breathing space before the water all does come down. Does that make any sense? I'm hoping this makes complete and utter sense. It will do by the time I've completely finished and terraformed all of this. So I'm going to get the rest of this now all done, get it all finalized and complete. We'll come back with all the roads completely gone, and then we can pretty much start our We are now done. Looks still kind of weird, but I'll run you down how it now basically works. So first things first, the road, sweet, sorted, goes underground, pops up back out of there. Got rid of all the roads, and it's kind of hard to tell, but it kind of like, it staggers down, and they've got some flood walls to kind of create some more natural barriers. Well, not natural barriers, but more slight barriers to kind of give our town a little bit of a fighting chance before the water does kind of seep in. And these little sections here is where we can put a water source. It will kind of trickle all the way down, fill the outer ring up. Once it fills the outer ring up, it'll overspill into the next ring, and then so on and so on. So now we need to strategically place our water pumps to maximize the amount of sucking up of the water they do, so our little beautiful town doesn't become over flooded. So we're going to put it to pause, and we get some little water sources down right now. I'm going to make them go as right there, because you got to remember that height completely goes over everything. I'll bring it up a little bit more. It goes over the first barrier, which is exactly what we want. So put this one in here. There we go. Put this one in here. There we go. So I don't know how forceful these are going to be and how strong they're going to be, or how quick we kind of need to react. But this is it's going to cause some mayhem, guys. It's going to cause some legit mayhem. So there we go. Water source is now into play mode. So we might have a little bit of a splish and a splash as the water kind of settles and figures out where it needs to go. But those water sources are then going to be on their way. So as a city then, we need to be pumping up as much water as possible. Now at the moment, we're only getting water from this beautiful little water tower over here, which is not really doing too much, or doesn't really have much drama going on. I'm going to try and bring in more residents so we can really up the amount of peeps kind of living here. There we go. And hopefully get more people means more water they need, which means more water we can suck up, hopefully. Hopefully, you just never know. You just never know in these type of games. So we're going to have a little fast forward then. And eventually, I mean, as of right now, this city is doomed. I think we can all just kind of appreciate how doomed this city is going to be. And we just gotta hope that it sucks up all the water to save itself. Everyone has to now become or adapt and just... If you don't like water, you're gonna love it by the end of this episode. But that water is coming in pretty thick and fast at this point. Now, I don't know if I can actually place down the water pumps. Here, I can't do it just yet because technically a shoreline is required. So we actually kind of, naturally just kind of have to wait until the water does come into our final line of defense. But we got these little walls right now so we can kind of like block the flow. I've kind of done it. I've blocked off where all entry points where the water comes in. Just so it has to spread out a bit more. And then we'll see how it kind of all comes together. So we've got a bit of breathing space because it has to fill up this before it overflows. Then it's going to naturally kind of, topple down and fill up certain areas. So, some little gaps and dents here and there. So we have got a little bit of time to kind of play around with right now. So it does mean bringing in more residents. I've got industrial zoned here, but no industrial zoning is being built right now. It's hilarious. This tide wants no industrial zoning. But there we go. It is what it is. It is what it is at the end of the day. It's just very interesting. So we were about to now find out if a city can save its own self from impending doom. And we just now, it's getting close, some of the edges right now, as you can now see, as they're coming close to the edge. Would you agree that water flowing in pretty quick right now? Can we suck up as much water that's flowing in? It's going to be tasty, guys. It's going to be tasty. So we have to react pretty quick when it all happens, because we might not get a second chance to rebuild the city once it gets flooded. That's what's going to be the interesting kind of part of this. But we're now, look at it, we're now slowly seeping over into the next stage. It's not until I start seeing water here we can actually start placing down water pumps. But it's flowing in pretty quick. Water is now making its way to the center, which we're now going to go bam, pause, and we're going to drop down water pumps. So how many do you reckon to begin with? Shall I go with this? This many? I don't know how much justice they're going to do. And that's not to say that they're all going to turn on. So will they start pumping up water? They are now pumping up, and you can see the dry patches underneath and that keep getting created. So we could potentially, do pretty well. But the fact that it's coming in droves, is quite nerve-wracking in many ways. So we're going to do it then on all little kind of entry point. There's a big section here I can drop it all down on. And it goes a bit funky to begin with because we don't have the full amount of water to kind of suck it all up. But if I drop down all the pumps going around right now, even with all these pumps, do we honestly think that that's going to be enough to save our little city, our beautiful little town? Because you got to remember, right, the water sources are so high above the city. Oh, there we go. That I don't even know if the sheer force and the sheer demand coming from them is ultimately going to be enough. Alright, play mode now. They're all working. They're all working wonders, and we're just going to let it kind of pass through a little bit to kind of see if just having these is going to be enough. Can this save the city itself from all the freaking flooding? So because there's only so much I can kind of pass through here, eventually this is going to get even more filled up. And we might start going over this. Ultimately, I just don't know if these pumps can hold up for it. Now, I was seeing a lot of dry patches, but those dry patches are becoming less and less. If you were living in this city and the mayor decided, we need more water pumps, it's the only natural way to kind of get rid of this flood, would you go, yeah, I believe in you, mayor? Or would you be like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm moving to Fool's Kingdom right now. I don't know. That water's getting deeper, isn't it? It's a weird one because it looks deeper, then they clear it. Then it looks deeper, then they clear it. Ooh, I think we might be just getting away with it. I think this flood wall here is doing wonders for us. I really do think it is. But I think we might be surviving this one. Now, who's to say some of the flood walls don't break? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's now a hole being placed in that one. There's now a hole being placed in that one. Which means more flow coming in. Yikes. It's getting quite deep here, which is what I'm quite nervous about the most. I mean... Why am I underground? Whoops, I didn't do that. Zodiac, do you want to destroy your city? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. But, yeah, this town is now drinking itself to survival. But it all has to go back out the other end. Which is why I got this aeration basin right here, right now. Because, obviously, I can't put the sewage back into it. Because, obviously, then they'll drink it back up and they'll get ill and be poisoned. Can't be having that happening. Industry is now slowly starting to be built. Which is interesting. Very interesting. Now, what if I went the full course and maybe started building the flood walls going all the way around it? You see where this is now going? Like, if I built flood walls going all the way around, they're not going to be perfectly square. But it means the water then has to rise to the next level. But the higher it rises... That's kind of funky. Yeah, the higher it rises, technically the more velocity it's going to have coming down. So if I kind of place all that in to kind of give them a little bit of a breathing space. And I very awkwardly now build all these little rings going all the way around. I think that one there has been successful. But it's now what happens with the increased walls, which means the flow is going to be a lot more vicious as it falls down. Boys, look at that. So the thing is, right, now it cascades. So it comes down with a lot more speed. Now we're just going to hope that speed that it now comes down from, because all of a sudden now at this point, there's not small entry points where the water has to flow in. It can come down on all angles right now. But ultimately, are they going to be able to still suck it all up to the point where they can survive? I mean, it's quite a nice little feature. We might have to build more cities like this in the future. Now, what if we stepped it up a notch and make that slightly higher? Like this one over here can definitely go a little bit higher. We kind of increase the water flow. This one's a little bit more interesting because obviously it clashes with two of them. But with more water flow becomes more danger. Becomes, oh my goodness me, I've never seen it that full before. Maybe that was a bad idea to increase it all. Yikes! We might need more water pumps, guys. We might need more water pumps. Alright, let's squeeze one there, squeeze one there. That one's, oh my goodness me, a couple of these have turned off. Right, I'm going to try and squeeze in one there. So I've got additional 3 now in. Whether or not they kind of turn on, I don't know. So, yeah, but then that one turned off. I think we're still keeping up with it, though. That water flow is getting a whole lot deeper, a whole lot... Look how quick it's now coming out. Holy smokes. That's coming out quite quick. But I think it's saving itself. I really do think it is. There's a fire over here, guys. Do you need water, guys? I mean, there's plenty of water. There's plenty of water right now. Now... We're creating a little lake here. Do I dare add on an additional couple of lakes? Or am I really at this point now pushing my luck? I think it's now time to take it or step it up a notch. So, right, hold on.
As I sneeze, because I am now officially allergic to water, we are now going to get this rocking and rolling a step further. So, we're going to create new little areas to kind of flow the water through again. Hold on. Oh my goodness me, I think I'm definitely allergic to creating. Allergic to water at this point. So, creating these little additional lakes. Right now, we'll create a couple more. And I think I'll unleash them in stages to kind of ease it a little bit. Otherwise, we're going to have so much freaking flow. It is going to be crazy. Right, so. How is the water right now? It's doing pretty good. The city is... I think that the city can handle it. It can currently handle it right now. So, in terms of putting more of these down then. Put them as high as it will allow me. Should I just do the 2 or should I go for all of them? Do you know what? Let's just do all of them. Like, to hell with it. Like, you know, there's water coming back in, which is kind of hilarious. Let's just do all of them. Gotta do this one over here as well. So with all this additional extra water now coming in, I reckon this will be the downfall. I reckon this will be the complete and utter downfall of this little town, this little city right now. Of nearly 7,000 people. Wow. Wow. I don't think it can suck up enough water for this. I honestly believe it cannot suck up enough water. There is no way it's going to be able to uphold the additional flow now coming in. I just don't believe it can. Honestly. So, there's still all dry patches down here. Which shows that it is doing a pretty good job. It's like, how much more water do we need coming in? How much further could I potentially push it? It's quite scary how much water you can actually take. Isn't it? Damn. Now, this doesn't feel like it's that high, so bring it up. Or I might have pushed it up a bit too high there. But definitely a lot higher there now, creating more of a flow coming out. Same for this. And it's still holding out additional pockets right now of water coming around, oh my goodness me, around the edge. And I didn't realise I was going to destroy the city that quick. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. The inevitable happened, guys. The inevitable just freaking happened. If I get rid of these little pockets all over again, we actually went a little bit too far there. Quickly get rid of them. But I think it's already game over, to be honest with you. I think it's now already legit game over. That happened so quick, I was not expecting it. I only create these small pockets thinking like, oh, I ain't going to do too much damage. And then would you look at that right now. We have just literally now obliterated the whole city in seconds. So, yeah. We were battling pretty well. If I never added in that additional, they were upholding it. But when you think about it logically, once the water flow got a little bit too much, there was no secondary defense. It was game over all at that point. It was game over. So they were only really going to survive as long as those water pumps were pumping. As soon as they had no power, it would have been game over anyway, whether or not I extended or kind of increased the amount of water flow. They were beholden to those pumps. But there we go, guys. Fun little experiment right there. If you did enjoy that, please smash the like button down below. And if you are new around here, then make sure you do subscribe. But until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, good.